I'm back and in the saddle, and it's time to brighten up your life with a little Cololight. Good afternoon and welcome to Turbo Tortoise Tech. If you're new here, I'm Reese of the 4-piece variety, or WookiE Triple XL. Today, I've gotten, actually for a few days now, I've been messing around with the Cololight stuff and I've been testing them over multiple days. So let me give you a little bit of a close-up and then tell you what I've discovered. These are pretty sick, I'm not gonna lie. They're free-forming light panels that you can practically create any arrangement with, and then you control it from your phone. I would have liked a PC app, honestly, but the phone control is actually pretty good. It's super low rated on the store because I think it's just so overwrought with control and functions and hue and specifics, like on a level that's kind of mind-blowing. So let's start off from the top though with what is the Cololight. So these are, like I said, free-forming LED beams. As you can see, there's a set of LEDs inside that are then diffused and are completely controllable and addressable. You can put these into pretty much any shape you could think of and then program them accordingly. So what I mean by program them, I mean you can literally tell the app where each of the Cololights are in the array, and then you can actually build colors and effects and stuff around that. They can be reactive to audio as well. They've got kind of every single box for lighting ticked, as it were. So for instance, I've got the little guy set up here on the Cololight, and at the moment it's in a unicorn effect. But if I scroll up then and go to pensive, which is to emulate the northern lights, you'll notice that it then just changes literally at the flick of a button. It's kind of nice that I've got this sort of level of control and a whole bunch of built-in dynamic effects and some very nice ones. I really do like the pensive one. This is sort of my absolute favorite. It's very calming effect, which is good for me because I'm a bit of an irate citizen most of the time. But this is the very base entry-level kit, cost you about $500. Then you can get something a little bit more substantial with a Cololight Plus. It has a slightly different controller, which is accessible on the front here, which I can actually change profiles and stuff on the fly with this. You can do it with this as well. It's on a touch sensitive button that's sitting on the back over here. So you can change them manually on the actual lights themselves, but it's so much better to just tell the array how it's set up and then put it into the app. There is also a specific way you need to connect these hexagonal sets up. There's a double-sided setup on them, so that's like the linking portion. So that has to come off of the main setup. So from the one light to the next, you have to use a double link or the double link setup that's there. They do give you single ones as well, which you can then just use to strengthen the connections between each of them. But if you're going, say, from this central piece outward, that's fine. Then you go from one of its single outputs into the double output on the other side. And then that light knows where it is in the array. It's kind of clever that it can do that. And then with the triangle wall one, they just take things to like a whole nother level. So inside of the pack, you get the various panels, and then they have little interconnecting pieces that then you just slot in between them. And then they come with a huge amount of 3M double-sided tape so that you can stick them onto walls, etc. This piece over here is quite interesting because it's actually an audio splitter. So you put this into your audio output of your device, and then you split off into your headphones or wherever you want your audio to normally go. And then this piece then goes into the actual Cololight controller that sits on the end over here. Once again, you can control this directly with the controller, so you're not limited to just using the app. You can control it from that, and then with a single touch of a button, you can put it into the music mode. There's obviously nothing flowing through it right now, which is why it's not reacting to any music, because I'm not playing any music, but it has that capability and a full splitting system, so you don't lose your original source. all gold plated, all really nicely finished. Like everything is like super nicely finished, I have to say. The build quality and stuff is really top notch. And at first when I saw it come to the store, I was like, onto the store at least, I thought maybe this is a little bit gimmicky. I don't know how many people are actually going to want to go in for this. But if you're a streamer and you want some ambience, especially like the triangle set on the back behind your PC or around your machine for yourself and your own thing, like with the pensive one I was showing you on this, it's sort of calming effect. I would actually have that on my desk as like a little night light, as it were. Instead of having other bright lights around me, just have that nicely sitting there on the desk while you're watching series or something like that. It's going to feel pretty nice to have that around. And then like with the Plus kit, you can just add on. You can just buy another Plus kit and just expand and expand. And these two are running off of USB as well, mind you. The triangle kit does come with its own ballast and its own external power, obviously because it's quite a lot more LED, it's a lot more substantial. And if you put two of these together, it definitely wouldn't be able to be powered off of USB. But you can, it's a cool thing, it's like a modular expandable system. So if you want to do your whole wall in Cololight triangles, you literally could do that. Then with a switch of a button, you could switch them on and off as well. So you don't have to use the application. It is physical as well as application-based controls. So they've really tried to think of everything. The application can feel a little bit cumbersome, especially probably to newer users. There's a lot of control in there, like an exceptionally large amount of control. Setting it up is also not the easiest. It has to be on a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. It absolutely hates 5 gigahertz. I tried it, even though they said use the 2.4. I tried the 5 gigahertz to be like, oh, it can't be this finicky, but it really is. It doesn't like the 5 gigahertz at all. So you might have to set up like a separate guest sort of Wi-Fi to be able to set that up, which can be a little bit annoying. But outside of that, the experience of these has been pretty damn good. The connectors and everything, like I said, are extremely high quality. Everything is like more than what I would expect, kind of thing. It's not a cheap product by any measure, especially when we are looking at it in South African rands. The rand not doing so well against the dollar right now. All of that being considered, it's still very good. If you were looking at getting something like this or interested in Cololight, I can tell you the build quality is top notch, and the LEDs and stuff, these three have all been on in totality now for 3 days. I just left them here on the test bench, just running for 3 days, and they've lost absolutely none of their brightness or responsiveness. So, and that's 24 hour. You'd probably switch these off at night, or if you're using it streaming, it's probably 6 to 8 hours in a day. So I've done that test like basically for a whole week worth of streaming time. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Cololight in a nutshell. If you have enjoyed this review, please do hit us up with a like and subscribe, and I will see you on the flip side.